6 o'clock. Ready and raring to go for the day. Feel like $1,000,000. Yeah, well, some days you just wake up and wide-eyed and bushy-tailed, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, there's this... it's like that itch you can't scratch. I don't know. You can't quite... see, here's the thing. As I say something like you can't quite put my finger on it, but I can. I can fully explain it. Just like most reasonably intelligent people could. But the brain deadedness, the amount of dolts that are walking among us, the amount of people that are full-on idiots. And again, as I like to remind people, this is not a fault of their own. I don't know how some people made it through the cracks, made it through this minefield of moronic people, and it's that every single day you to interact with other people in public. It is a crapshoot, man. You know, it's like playing against the casino at a game. It's never, the odds are never in your favor. It's like you go out. It's not like flipping a quarter, which would still be way too much. You have to flip a quarter, and is this person going to be dumb as rocks, like a bag of stones? See, I would normally just attribute online. Whenever you're online, like, okay, you, even if you do the research on it, it's very simple research. You just type in there like how many accounts on YouTube, how many accounts on IG are trolls or bots. And the people that are offering the information, they probably are underselling the amount of that. So the amount of just simple, basic, or completely, say muddy the waters. The amount of conversations you'll have online that are worth anything, other than just wasting your energy, wasting your time. It's barely worth it. It's really not, and it's I would just attribute it to that. But literally in public, it's a very similar trend, as if the people that are in public, if they do get online and go and look at a meme, or they read the comments, they go to YouTube and they read the comments, they'll be quickly thrown into that mix of peer pressure and wanting to fit in. So what is the most popular opinion to have? And if you understood that the word democracy means essentially rule by the mob, meaning if more than 50% believe it, then it must be true. But that just doesn't work that way, does it? But now we have everybody just standing on a bus of what's pop science. They say it's science. Oh, you don't know science? This is my favorite thing these days. Okay, that happens online. In public, people believe they've done any research. And where do they get their narrative? Have they even explored a different? Maybe it's not opposing, but maybe it's different. There could be more than one opinion. In fact, there can be lots of them. Even in the scientific community, most science is continually disproven for one reason or another. Most of the time these days, it's because it never held water to begin with. Because it couldn't, because it was bought and paid for studies to get an end result. I don't care how you dice it or slice it up. Companies are in cahoots with, science is littered. It's no different and no better than religion. Religion and science, the idea of spirituality or religion, however you want to call that, and science is no different, because it's all been tainted by greed. It's all been tainted by money. No, science objectively looks at no, it doesn't. No. Yes, in its best way. In the best way, having faith or some sort of religious behavior can be a very good and powerful thing. And science, obviously, too. But we can see that objectivity is often clouded. Morality is completely off of the table. Ethical and moral concern for an objective truth is is that can't really exist when people's paychecks rely on them giving data that supports something. And it's like, oh, this is what it looks like to us. Why wouldn't it? The data's right there. Here's the test we ran, and but they, you know how easy it is to run a diagnostic test when you're looking to get a certain result. It's always in the dilemma. First of all, even if you got rid of the money of the money, the power, the if you got rid of that leveraging thing, it would still exist because even in people's if they're doing good science, they're just looking for the answer or the how or the why the why something occurs the way it does. There's a reaction that's happening here, and I'd like to explain how that happens. Now, and they have to be completely numb to what the result is. That, but they're not. As soon as it's that whole quantum physics thing when you start the observation and what your expectations would be. There's not too many people that can just go, I'm just going to do the scientific experiment because I'd like to know how this actually functions. It's more of an engineer's mind. It says I don't really care how this is getting done. That's what an engineer does. I need to get this over there, and I want it to be as easy as possible. And here's what we can work with, and so we can use we use our minds to get to that answer. Here's a couple tests. We can do it different ways. What's the easiest? What's the most? Keep it simple. Yeah, kind of that method. Well, okay. People don't engineer things to keep it simple anymore. We can look all over. Look at the littering of reality with superfluous, meaningless, pointless objects that think they're solving a problem. Like go watch some infomercials. Just stay up one night and turn your TV on. It'll be fun. If you don't, if you've never seen it before, and you want to have a fun exploration into the oh wow, look at how crazy things are. Go look at all the little kitchen gadgets people, you know, sell. I don't know of many kitchen gadgets and I cook. I used to have lots of them. Certain things have there's specialty for this specific thing, or like if you're a baker, you need to have these types of things. And if you're a chef, you basically just need a knife. That's about, and you got a stove, right, and pans, but all these other kitchen gadgets, and that's everywhere. I mean, there's how many different designs of shoes. There's how many different, why is there planned obsolescence? It's because of money. And so all of this leads up to having systems having redundant systems that keep the people in power that are in power and the people that are powerless powerless. And the easy way to do that is to control the narrative through an indoctrination system, which is the school system. Now, there's always this argument about like kids need to get back to school. Like, no. I will say there is a benefit to the not going to school. The benefit could be that they don't have to learn that information anymore. Best thing in the wild, wild west of the internet. Not that they're going to do anything constructive with their time, and it's not that their parents even want them around all day. And it's like their parents, I understand the complications if the mother's going to work to make a job, to make money, and the husband, the wife both go to work, and they're like, okay, how am I supposed to, this kid usually would be babysat at the school system. That's what the school system is doing. It has been for a long time. Um, I mean, that's only part of the purpose. I mean, you trust these people? Who's this? What's up, Skull? The geezer is all right over here. Yeah. Okay. So these scientific truths are not truths. They're not objective anymore. And what I was leading up to was, again, this idea that, okay, on the internet and all there's just so much science, there's so much stuff. It's a minefield. It's a complete, there's just so much going on the internet, right? That you can, if you get into logical fallacies and start to research and understand what those are and realize your mind will become, like most of things are based, you have confirmation biased, which, but then you have to get into the, well, let's not go that far quite yet, but everybody has confirmation biased, so there's errors there all the time. And so if somebody wants to fit in their social group, they have to take on most of the same narrative of what is given to them. This is the truth. Why wouldn't they believe it? If they really want to come out and do any research, and they'd have to, you know, get in tiffs at best, if not arguments with their peer group, until they're ostracized into the point of they can't even, like, there's no winning. They don't, they're like, this is stupid. This person's stupid. They believe something so stupid, and then you say something reasonable and rational and sane and intelligent, and you make a logical, progression of thought and how something functions, and they can't even understand it because it won't fit into the narrative that's given to them popularly. Because as soon as they do that, they shut off. As soon as you do that, they just go, no, it's, why would the people still think that the news is on their side, that the media is on their side, that they don't, there's nothing, fallacious about it. It's all, especially science. So we walk around on a day-to-day basis, and it's rigged out of an intelligent person's favor, out of a thoughtful person's favor. It's all the, you know, the deck is stacked, the game is rigged, blah blah blah. And how is that? It's because if you even want to interact with other humans, you have to just go. It's like, okay, don't argue with idiots, or else they'll, pull you down to their level and beat you with experience. Which makes you really go, okay, you just have the point. You see the point of why these monks, they just sit and they just kind of meditate and they just walk around and everything. They don't really. Why are they happy? Because they don't have to talk to people. Because there's a better than 50% chance that if you even start to have a conversation that has any value or meaning in life that might help people, that you're going to be forced to have that person's going to get upset because you're logical and you care, and to them it doesn't make sense because their brain is so programmed and malfunctions so hard because of the narrative that you look like a complete idiot, a complete moron. You tell somebody, hey, a good way to, you're unhealthy. A good way to fix that is maybe fast. Don't eat. I go, oh, okay. No, I need to take all the pills and medicine because that's what the doctor says. You didn't go to school for 8 years. You're not a doctor. The doctor knows better than. Okay. So it's like you can't even at that point, even if I do know better, which I certainly do. But no, well, why'd you believe me? And who cares? Who cares? Even if I have the research to back it up, uh, who's gonna do the research into why clean, pure, distilled water, or even crazier urine? Who's gonna do that research into why that is? There's a high efficacy rate to it. It's a good idea. Who's gonna do that? Because there's no money in it. Who's are all these water companies going to come together? Do they have enough buying power to make sure who's selling piss? You can't sell piss. Who's going to do these studies? Just, hey, here's some quack. Here's some goofy science guy. Here's a science guy, right? That's going to go and spend years doing research on the and where are they going to find these participants, right? They're going to find the efficacy of using pure clean water. Not getting paid to do it because what kind of water company? Like, people are going to buy water no matter what. There's no product to sell. What up, Danny? And whether or not you do it is not the point. The point is you can't even have these conversations with people because they ain't willing to listen, and it just turns into arguments. It just turns into time wasting trolls. Like, and again, it's not just on the internet. I'm saying in real person, in real time. It is highly illogical. If I was Vulcan, if I was like Nanu Nanu, if I was like a Star Trekkie, if I was, I would say it's highly illogical to have a conversation with anybody about anything ever. You're to have anything other than a superfluous conversation, and even that is difficult these days because hey, people got the whole thing on. You can't even hear them. That's a whole problem right there. And then to get have a narrative about that, you can't. You can't talk to them about that. Even though you might be there are studies about this done, but nobody wants to hear those. I got a movie to watch. No, I don't want to watch that. I don't. No, it's going to challenge their whole belief system. So the chances of having any kind of meaningful conversation with people that doesn't end in like them going, fuck you, I don't believe it, you're so stupid, yeah, I don't want to talk to you, because they don't, the chances are highly likely, like it's about, I would say maybe like 60 to 70% chance these days that you could even. Now, I'm not saying convince anybody anything. Just to have the conversation and go, oh, that's interesting. I'll look into that. That's interesting. No, not on any subject. Even the most moot, meaningless things, it is difficult to have a conversation these days. Like, going anything deeper than, hey, how's the truck running? Hot day out there. No, this is beyond that. Even that at this point is. Do you think people are forging new relationships these days? Do you think that's occurring for most people? No. Actually, most people's relationships have went into the toilet. Most people have lost relationships right now. To think you could build a relationship, the only way you can build a relationship is by communicating. And you know how difficult it is to communicate with people these days. It is in this other way turned back into a Black Mirror. Yeah. It's not. There's no. The whole point of having the phones and being able to interact and dialogue with people was two-way communication. So it's a white mirror and a black mirror, and it's you can kind of. No, but even that is becoming more and more of a dilemma for people, because even at that, you try to educate somebody on anything, and then their whole mind gets stuck in that area. You can't. So no, that doesn't happen. Who else up in here? So the ability to forge, build relationships and things right now in the world as a totality. Oh, we're not even gonna get into like the psychological manipulation and terrorizing of people by socially and physically and isolating people from each other, which everybody knows is a torturous thing. Now, is it a healthy thing and a good thing for some people under their own? Yeah. But to do it under a complete faulty narrative for one thing, ooh, that's not good. And to do it for such a long period of time, like what's the there's no. Who's this? What's going on? Yeah, I just I don't see there is no okay. Life doesn't have a solution. There is health is not in obtaining it. It is the journey. I get all of these notions, but it it is like this isn't even playing on hard mode. This ain't playing the game on. This is an unsolvable game. This is an unsolvable riddle. It's not even paradox anymore. It is just complete outright nonsense. And, and the only way to win the game is not to play it. What does that mean? So just what is that? Just jump off a building, blow your brains out. I mean, what is this suggestion? Life is here. Okay, enjoy it. Enjoy it how you can, but you can't. You can't. It's not allowed. The amount of ugh, the way people act, you can't even anymore. Humans are I don't know. I don't know. Is it? I used to not think people were robots. I used to not think people were holograms. I used to not think people could possibly be some sort of other. Or, again, people could be just people, but their mind program, their mind virus. They have a mind virus, right? They have the mental. Whenever I say things, I say people are retarded, or I say people are idiots or dolts. These are not attacks. These are literal statements about a retardation of development of people's minds, hearts, consciousness, whatever you want to call the whole thing, their whole system. It is completely. Not only are we is development been retarded for a very long time. Now it's actually going in. It's like this is entropy for most people. I believe in neg entropy. If you understand the word entropy, it means that people would have to be people believe in science believe in entropy. I either believe that the system is completely always in balance, or that it is expanding in the sense that neg entropy occurs. But as a total right now, what you see is not. There's no balance. Everything is in an entropic state of people just declining in everything, in health, physically, mentally, spiritually, their well-being, their some people could do with less physical items. Some people could do with less food. A lot of people could do with less money. But then again, there are people that need more physical items, food, money to obtain things. Ha ha ha. Yeah, she couldn't see retardicus. You see what you just said there. You said you was in a post office. The same showed a woman behind the counter a photo in a newspaper with Bill Gates' depopulation and gender and agenda and program, and she still asked where your mask was. She literally couldn't even hear you. She could not even hear you. It was as if not the only thing that was happening in her mind is, I hope he stops talking or showing me that whatever I don't even know what that is. Where is his mask? Where is his mask? What that? Why isn't he? Why isn't he? Why doesn't he have a mask? Why doesn't he have a mask? I could only imagine. Like I don't have an obsessive compulsive mind for the most part. I mean, yeah, anxiety usually is a result of repetition of thought and obsessive compulsive behavior. Because I could see maybe as a child I maybe had that, which made me good in school. I could repeat, some whatever they were teaching. It was easy for me to repeat it. Maybe I had anxiety as a child, but as an adult, I don't, not really so much. Sometimes it becomes very, who doesn't, right? But I could only imagine that most people, I think, maintain. It's not just talking about like you have to live with a wide open heart and don't live in fear. Okay, I get that because the fear releases, the chemicals. I get how that works, but the anxiousness of the repetition of thought, those patterns of repetitious thought are, um, that's what's causing most of the where I started this whole conversation was you can't. There's no talking to people anymore. You can't. It's not. It's not even worth it. It'd be like if every time you went out, it'd be like, have you ever? Did you ever sell something that somebody didn't really want, but every time once in a while you made a sale, you'd make some money, so there was a return on your investment of your time and energy. No, we're talking about like percentages of times that you can even engage in any kind of meaningful conversation right now. Very, very small. Very small. What you talking about? You can't eat anymore. You can't eat anymore. Yeah, I don't know. I don't really like what's the point? What's the point? Danny, I think you did done lose your mind. I think you smoked yourself crazy. Hmm. And it's always a strange thing to me. Like when I have a hard time going to sleep, but then finally I get to sleep and I had good sleep there. A couple weird dreams, a couple good dreams. And then I woke up, and as soon as I woke up, it was like, I'm awake, and here I am. And I'm like, really? I woke up in this realm again? This place? Yeah, Danny, I would, yeah, you should, if you're too cold, you definitely should eat and hibernate. You'd want your, not eating when it's cold is the worst. It's, you need to have, you need to have your body going through a metabolic process, and that will keep your body warm. The warmth of anything, it's funny enough, something that's cold will make you warm. A cold drink is a good idea when it's cold. It's just logical. No, it sounds wrong at first, but here's why it's logical. Because in nature, if you're somewhere where it's warm, how would you expect to make something cold? You can't. So you would drink a warm beer, and it would cool, or a warm. You'd make a tea, or you would make a chai or whatever, and that would be hot, and that hot would actually end up cooling you down. Where in the cold, as you put cold into your body wants to maintain homeostasis, so it speeds up a process of causing your body to, um, like, it does the opposite because it wants to maintain an internal homeostasis in reflection of the outside environment. A warm pee. It's like you can't even smile and nod these days at people. This is how far it's gone with this whole masking nonsense. You look at somebody. I've looked at people and smiled and really got the same kind of type of behavior that Leo does. Leo does, where they're I can see underneath their mask that they're not smiling back, and they might even be mouthing something like, "Why's your mask?" I can see that. And I thought I lived in a place that was more, oh, I don't know. When I say liberal, I don't mean it in the way that. most people mean liberal. I mean, like more like, uh, you know, le bon temps, le bon temps. Let the good times roll kind of stuff. Le bon temps roulette. roulette, roulette, roulette. Where it was more just like, hey, no, no, it's astounding, actually. Hey, you can't have conversations with people anymore. You can't smile at someone because you don't know if you're getting one in return. You don't know if you're like, you can't even see the judgment on their faces anymore because it's just covered. I mean, you can feel it off of their eyeballs, and you can kind of tell just from the cracks of their eyes and their eyebrows, and you can tell there. You did, Leo. You really did, didn't you? Nice mask. And see, that's funny. If you were wearing one, they wouldn't be able to hear you say it, and then they'll go like this. They go what? They would say what? And and but since you're not wearing one, I think 1 out of 10 people probably goes, oh, thanks. Because it's a fancy one. It matches their outfit. Like I like to tell people all the time, I like whatever they're wearing. But yeah, the mask thing that's got to really, you know, it's got to really get under their skin, huh? Oh man. So I listen to these other people's channels, and some of them are very, very informative, and it's encouraging to see the comments beneath certain people's videos. You know, F this, not getting the Jabberwockies, not the masks are, BS, blah, 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 blah. Uh, Great, and that's awesome. But it seems like it's not even an uphill battle. It's just like, it's like the, these people are preaching to the choir, and no, and these other people won't even get in. They won't even participate in the dialogue. And they don't really, they don't want to know. Again and again, it's like you can't you can't you can't do the right thing. The right thing is sometimes the right thing is the wrong thing, and sometimes the wrong thing is the right thing, and sometimes the thing that it's not right or wrong could be right or wrong, and that's the kind of feel. Like, yeah, doing the right thing it sometimes doesn't even benefit the other person. I can't tell you how many times I've done something right for someone that I know, and in my being, it was a healthy, helpful, wonderful thing to do. And I was like, my the energy I was reflected back was like, yeah, F you, your life, and the horse you came riding in on. And other times I've done things that were kind of aggressive, kind of like in the moment I was like, that was probably a little too much. Maybe I said a little too much and I was kind of a dick. And people have said, thank you for saying such. It's usually not right then, but usually people are like, what you said, like, thank you. I was like, cool. I was like, I thought I was a little aggressive with it. Yeah, but I wouldn't have heard you any other way. See, what a weird thing. See, so you can't really see. This is what's the moral? Is it like moral relativism? Moral. Yeah, a lot of people don't like having a conversation with moral relativists because they say it can't really exist because you need to maintain you. Yeah, I don't. Everything, everybody, and you know what? These same people that love Einstein, and didn't he say it's all relative? Everything's relativity. They only, because everything changes. All angles and aspects of things change in a and in the relationship of everything changes all the time. So you have to constantly readjust your ship. The conversation, the narrative, it's always constantly adjusted. Well, that would be Danny. I don't think you really do believe that though. You don't, because then you wouldn't have anyone to talk to. There would be no life to be had. You're not a singular entity. Life is made out of relationships. It's not even a balancing thing. It's like you are. See, this is why relativism is the only model that really functions well. Is because could you imagine? Here's why relativity, the moral relativism standpoint. Let me explain something to it, and you can look at it. It's real time. Could you imagine 2 years ago having this conversation about people wearing masks and how insane it is? It wouldn't even. It would have been a laughable conversation. That yeah, a couple people would be like, okay, maybe there's the Spanish flu, blah blah blah. Uh, maybe, all right. But now it's the only thing that anybody knows how to talk about. So uh, the and the moral and ethical, they're slightly different, but the moral obligation, pop pop culture wise, they've adjusted the goalposts and the narrative. So now morally, it's actually more people are involved in moral relativism, even though they claim they hate it, they are, because last 2 years ago, if you were wearing a mask, they'd be like, take your mask off. You can't walk in that store. What are you doing with that? Take that off. Now they're doing exactly the opposite. Why? Because it's relative to the time and space we live, and what the pop reference is to anything. People in general, um, they don't have a core set of beliefs whatsoever. They'll say they do, but they don't. Most everyone are moral relativists. Most everyone, in the worst way, because they actually hate the idea of it. It's a very well, there's a tough class right there. Why would you got to treat everything, you have some consistency here. See, because if they want to use morals and ethics in a viewpoint of saying you need to have consistency, they're trying to treat it like a science experiment, and you can't do that. Not everything has not everything has the same answer. Not everything is different times call for different things. You can't give me the same exact question if I'm in a different space. If I'm in a different environment, I'm gonna have a completely different answer. It has to be. I'll make it very simple. If you're outside and it's cold, and say it's snowing, what is it the same answer if you're in a warm climate to whatever your moral behavior would be? If you're in a nice, cozy, warm climate, you see a kid just walking around in a pair of shorts, t-shirt, you know what you do? You smile, you say, hi, what's going on? Whatever. Let the kid be. If it's 30 below zero and you see a kid walking down the street in a t-shirt and shorts, your behavior and your ethics and your morality completely changed because the environment has changed. And what is that? That is moral relativism in a nutshell, because people do not take the time, the space, nor the environment into their completely scientifically objective viewpoint of what they think science is and what they think is morally or ethically the correct behavior. Right now, the correct thing would be, if we're using pop culture, And pop science, it'd be wear a mask, get jibber jabbered, the science is there. See, there's no, to claim there's any sort of objective, there is an objective reality. There is a solid reality that we interact with. Can't really you can place your finger on it, but it's it's often changes. The Monkey King. Go watch the. Is that the name of it? It's an Australian show. It's on Netflix. If you ever want to binge on some Netflix, I think it's pretty. I think it's called The Monkey King. Pretty good show. Very 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 cute show. Australian. Yeah. Adventure, kind of campy-esque. I don't know. Cool stuff though. Hmm. Where else should we go? With this. Oh, I was watching this show. If you've never seen it, another show that's really fucking hilarious and great. Really well written. Um, and the acting, the hijinks, the shticks, the humorous way that they break down philosophy and psychology. The Good Place. If you've never seen The Good Place, was that Catwalk? Magic Mike. Yeah, they really good. Yeah, definitely. They're really highbrow there. They're really covering all the bases in that. Yeah, The Good Place. Ted Danson's in it, so you already know it's funny. The rest of the cast there's a couple other people you know in it. Super funny, but lots of moral and ethical uh, conundrums, puzzles, as it were, and they give a good understanding of it. Huh. Yeah, her one track mind is literally her one track is all over the place. It's actually maybe more bizarre than mine. Like I somehow, yeah, you're throwing wrenches into what I'm talking about, which I don't. It's funny. I know I'm not laughing because it's too early to laugh, and I don't have I don't want to. Oh wait, my neighbors get up early and just start talking on the phone really loud. It's pretty awesome. So that's another reason I can't really sleep. So I'm like, oh, my neighbor's on the phone just barking about something. But then again, he's old. I don't know. I guess old people get up and talk in the morning. Yes, I could only guess. But oh yeah. So the good place if you get a chance, maybe you'll learn something. But your mind is like a cat playing with a ball of yarn. Yeah, I just sometimes wonder if you could even, I wonder if you could maintain a direct, logical conversation with somebody. Yeah, I mean, if it wasn't for the fact that I woke up and I'm already, like, as much as my eyes are kind of shut and I'm in a cozy, comfortable position, my mind is very, very sparkly. Those days when your brain, like, I don't need coffee right now. Some days I feel like coffee would be nice. Other days I'm like, uh, that would only make me more like spastic. Like right now I feel like I don't know what. it's somewhere in between. It's a good, whatever a good balance drug is for the mind. I don't know what works for some people doesn't work for others, but some of this is like my mind is on point. It connects to my other parts of me, and I can keep a pretty reasonable, logical, direct, from here to here to here type conversation. Where normally, whenever I'm saying something, I like to take little side trips and do little loops for people, so that way it connects things with. Because I'll know that I'll be talking to people that have, I don't know, 60 different ways that people think. So if I go, okay, if I was teaching 20 people, right, it might seem like it takes me 10 minutes to tell a very simple thing, but if I'm talking to 20 people, I have to make all of those connections for them, because if I use the reference to, hey, everything's like an automobile. If your dad's like, hey, it's like it's a first and goal on the 8-yard line, and you got 3 seconds. That makes all of those analogies. That's gonna go over 100 people's heads. It's gonna it's a mess. But so I'll make that analogy, and then also make an analogy to engineering or something, or how automobiles work, or how medicine might function, and how food might. If I go through all of those analogies, then it will make sense when I get back to a logical perspective, because then anybody else that has a different place that they're starting from, connected neurologically with what they're thinking. Yeah, now analogies are really the only way to. It's very difficult to tell something to someone directly, not because they don't understand it logically. It's just not fun, so they're not engaged, and it's not speaking to them on where they start from. It'd be like, you could tell a kid a story about anything, and the kid might be engaged because like, oh wow, I'm learning, and I don't know, whoa. But if they don't understand the basic concept, not gonna get anything out of it. So you got to meet them at their level, whatever that is. And most people, you just assume if you're this age, you know certain things, and you can't. You cannot, especially on doing things like making a video. I can't assume anything about people's mentality. It's more difficult in public, right? Because you're interacting on a smaller level, and you look at somebody and you make observations about their level of intellect, intelligence, and whatever, by the way they're dressed, by the way they nonverbals, communication through the face, the eyes, the energy they're putting off, etc., etc. So you can easily kind of judge that. Sometimes you're very wrong, and sometimes you think so. My only assumption is people have humor in them, where I'm often have found myself that they don't have humor, that they don't know what funny is, that they are literally, it's like when you're just like old. I'm gonna try to say this. When I say old, I just mean like you don't find humor in things because you're not enjoying anything. Like, despite how depressed I am at times, I still find humor in it. I find humor in my depression at times. I mean, is it going to take me out of my depression? No, but it's humorous. I can look at it and go, yeah, this is pretty funny. Maybe I'll see what happens tomorrow. See where I can go with this. Yeah, and then laugh at it then. But other people, no, just old people. Like, even young people don't have a sense of humor these days. You ever see these young people that like everything's so serious to them, and then you got the old Karen types that they're because they're not getting. When's the last time they got the dust knocked off that? and I'm saying that not only physically, because there is a obvious connection between mental and physical, but when's the last time they had any kind of conversation that even, and would they? And do they have any spirituality about them? I really doubt it. Like, I mean, I think that's pretty much vanished on a lot of people. The zombie, spiritual, soulless. I mean, I've said it the other day, and I'm going to say it again. I don't think I was wrong about the zombie apocalypse. I just think we're seeing it differently. If you really, really look at it. Like, people are, and what are they doing? Everybody's a mouth breather these days, covering that thing up. They're becoming dumber. Their brains are not working. They're getting hypoxia and all of the, they're your whole body, you're supposed to breathe. It's kind of a thing. And if you don't breathe, you kind of starts to go to the other direction. You start to, entropy starts to kick in there, right? So, yeah, so they've also, like, in that, they've become humorless. Very much zombie traits. There's like mouth breathing, and then looks on their face are scowls. Everybody's like growling. Their brains aren't not functioning. They just want to consume blindly. Starting to sound a lot like zombies, huh? I mean, are people literally going like? I think. I mean, honestly though, their masks, like the things that can start to happen if you just wore a stinking wet. If you wore wet, okay. If you anybody knows if you leave a baby's diaper on that's wet, they can get like chapped and rashy, right? Like, if it's hot in my house and I wear underwear to bed, right? And then you get the sweaty, swampy crotch. You can kind of get rashy. You know what I mean? And chicks know all about this. You get rashy. Get like, well, what the fuck? You can take this shit off. Air that out, right? Imagine if you did that on your face all day and you're just breathing hot, like this moisture, bacterias, and it starts to get on your face. You start to get like scabby, facey, lippy stuff. So start eat away at your face. Doesn't that sound like what zombies look like? Their skin, they start to have bacteria that starts getting on there and starts eating away at their face. You think this isn't happening already? People are getting bronchitis. This happening in their lungs. This is happening to their whole facial region, and then you can't even see them. I wonder how many of these people that are wearing masks these days. Literally, they keep wearing masks because they're. I wonder if they even can tell how much their health has gone down the tubes. I wonder how many people are even more sick because of wearing the thing, and yet they blame something else. They blame you for breathing. You, the one that gets sunshine, that is some sort of, I don't know, my brain functions, your brain, right? I'm breathing properly. And they're sitting over here like, just mouth breathing, sweat. Ugh. It's not good. In no way would it be good. Simple, reasonable, rational, logical, and scientifically studied and proven that, like, why? Do you know why you change hey, they say change your bandage? Most people know that you have to change the bandage. Why? What do you think that is on someone's face? You have to change that because it starts to get bacteria and things in there. The only time I'll put a bandage on something to heal it if I get a very bad whatever. I don't know the last time I used a Band-Aid or anything on any cut or bruise or whatever I had for all my stupid things to do. I don't know. Doesn't make sense. I don't see any animals putting bandages on. Of course, for some things, yes, but if you put a bandage on to protect it, to keep it clean, eventually it becomes dirty because the stuff inside that's coming out is dirty, and then it's moist. That moist and warmth cause bacterias. Starts to not make a lot of sense, right? No. So now look at these zombies, man. What do we got? We got people that are probably getting bacterial fungus and stuff on their face, in their lungs, mouth breathing, getting pale, getting weak, not getting any sunshine, not getting any. All they want to do is consume. Brains aren't functioning. Is this literally creating zombies? I'm gonna do a whole other show on this too, just to repeat this point for people that didn't get this far in, because I think it's important for people to consider this. I mean, yeah, it does it sound funny and hilarious and far-fetched? I don't think anybody could say that right now. I'm literally saying, is this creating zombies? Is this really creating a zombie apocalypse? To me, it seem like that would be a reasonable expectation of a conversation to have. But no, that's you talking goofy. You see that in the movies and stuff. No, you know what? Again, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, talking about having to wear a mask every day for months and it's flatten a fake curve and blah 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 in 2 weeks and no, maybe never. No, stick this in you. It's not even approved. It's just I mean, the things that are. Could you have even imagined that? That would have sounded completely out of bounds. Like you're talking silly. You're talking silly stuff. That doesn't. I mean, yeah, it's something to think about, but now it's actually because of people doing it, they accept it as reality. Accept it as reality. And I'm saying that why not? Why not the zombies? How do people not see this? Oh, hey, I'm sorry, guys. I don't know. Every once in a while, my live stream from you guys, it just stops. It's pretty awesome. Uh, uh-huh. So let me catch you up here. That's why I kept talking because I thought you guys weren't talking, but apparently. Hey, Skull, that's funny you say that. Yeah, a buddy of mine that is a houseless dude, homeless dude. He's always got knives, man. I mean, I get it. It's for protection. He's on the streets, you know. He's got his stuff. He's got sleeps in odd places. He's got to have his, but he's always got some odd machetes and something around. I'm like, dude, and he's always sitting there sharpening it. I was like, it's like you're prepping for the zombie apocalypse, huh? Good to see you, Leo. So yeah, see if we can explore this zombie apocalypse thing again. I tried to start it off in a precise, logical perspective on a few things, and then as usual, the wheels kind of turn into something a little bizarre. Turns into something little. That's a little crazy. The zombies. Yeah. I would like to write a thesis on that. Peace out, man. Thank you, Leo. Of course, man. Fucking good looks, whatever, man. Yeah. Um. So funny. I do want anything else? What do you guys? Anything else you want to get into right here? Who's here? Who's here now? Who's left? I was gonna try to keep it under an hour, but whatever. I mean, if I started another one, I would just start it with the sole purpose of beginning it with the talk about the zombie apocalypse and how it's already here. Some people, um, let's see, you got the J Dreamers, the Whatever his name is, Brian Lambert guy. So you got to pay for that stuff, and you got people that were in the plasma apocalypse thing, and some people were actually like crybabying about it. It was really funny listening to it, like Martin Kenny and what's the other dude's name? Um, what the hell's his name? Oh, I can't believe I forgot his name. He did some of the best videos in the plasma apocalypse. Um, Norb's theory, yeah, and a couple other people are just crying about it because it didn't happen. Like they just were certain, like really, like well maybe it won't. They're like really upset. I was like, I was kind of too because I wanted to see it happen, but I don't believe it didn't happen. It just didn't happen all at once. I think what occurred was it's just like it's the same way it doesn't go from day to night immediately. It doesn't go from night to day immediately. It doesn't go from uh, an astrological sign to another one immediately. There's a transition. There's the cusping of it, where it's like, well, it's kind of right there. It's kind of right there. It's day or night. I don't know. So I think that could be part of it. Because you're looking at people that are the dumbing down of society, the dumbing down of people. I wonder as a species, yeah, the cusp, the cusping. I wonder as a species if we would be considered more intelligent as a whole, completely, than we were, say, 20, 50, 80 years ago, or have the dumbing down has occurred? Would literally be considered, if we were to take in what it would mean to be intelligent? I mean, there are many different types of intelligences. Again, you can't really rely on just one. Do you think as a totality? It's like everybody's like, oh, it's just getting worse. Yeah, well, because some people are getting smarter, and so uh, by association with other things, you associate with, like, you're getting smarter, but everybody else is either staying the same, or so normality looks dumber and dumber to you. And it's also, obviously something, it's more present. The revealing is, if you wear a mask all the time in a car, like, okay, we've got it. We got the note, dude. Just you are not to be whatever. Okay, enjoy your. What's fun? What I could almost see occurring is so many people getting sick over. See, I thought more people would get sick over the winter, and they would blame it on the thing, but it's actually people getting more sick because they're actually causing themselves to be more sick, or how long that gets drawn out for. Like, people are developing more sicknesses, but no matter what the sickness is, they're not calling it what it is. They're calling it something else. You know what they're calling it. And then that's the. So what are they going to blame it on? They're not going to blame it on the actual cause, the causal feature. We already know what those things are. They're gonna blame it on everybody else. All the people that are walking around, it's everybody without a mask that's causing it. It's like, yeah, but none of us are sick. That's the. Did anybody get that note? Where we're fine. No one's sick. I don't know. Anybody I know that doesn't work. It's crazy. I go and walk. See the poorest people. See the same crackheads. Already immune system deficient. They don't wear the mask. I see these other people. Nobody wear a mask. Just walking around. I mean, are they in exceptional health? No, but are they falling over? Like, no, they're still there, not wearing a mask, all with their bad habits and stuff. Yeah, how did they survive so long? Crazy, right? Nope. So I wonder if the narrative would then be, oh, it's everybody not wearing, it's all that. We gotta keep keep having dividing these people. Is that what it is? Is that is the division there? Are you going to believe us, or are you going to believe the stupid people that don't care about they don't care about your grandparents, they don't care about your health. They can just walk around and they can disease you if they want. They want to kill you. Can you imagine people that could believe that? Like, yeah, the guy. If I wanted to kill someone, wouldn't my first step to be put a mask on so they couldn't tell? Huh. Seems like if I did, wouldn't me keeping it like I was that guy without a mask, he did it. Okay, yeah. But no, everybody else put a mask on, anonymous, nobody knows. That's how you would do it, right? Wouldn't isn't that how watch all the old movies? Bank robberies, this and that, they put masks on, they put face disguises, that's the whole thing. That's the game. And we're the untrustworthy ones, right? We're making people sick. Right. Well, yeah, I can see you've told people to drink water and also drink their piss. You're trying to, you are making. You, wait, that's you're saying. Oh, okay. I get. See the narrative, and I was like, no, but doesn't it make more sense? This, no. That's to protect people from the spittle, the smuts, you just put just wear a whole diaper on your face. Like literally, just put a diaper on there. Just go buy a Pampers, Huggies, whatever you do. Then go ahead and get a plastic bag, put that around there too, and you'll be fine. 100% effective. I wonder if that narrative will change that way. And then here's the thing is, then what is see why this battle is like it's just what do you even do? The battle is because now everybody has been causing themselves literal brain damage. Some say it's irreversible. But okay, so now you got to argue with people that have literally been causing themselves brain damage, that are quite zombie-like. What's the win here? Well, how do you work with that? Mm-hmm. And see here's where my mind goes into like the whole. I'm usually solution oriented. You know, I go through a series of things in my brain to engineer something, to be creative about how to accomplish something. And if you don't have a lot of food in the house, you can kind of still mix and match and find something that's really awesome. And if you have to engineer something, like build a house and figure out how something's done. Yeah, create things and blah. Yeah. And I'm thinking about this right here. I'm like, this is literally it's unsolvable, illogical, no solution to this whole bullshit. It is. It's like you'll allow your children to watch movies that have violence. I'm talking about guns and play all the war games. Just like this kind of just fighting and scream. Just the violence of the world. That's okay. Nobody says shit about that. But if a tit pops out on TV, oh, people are going, oh. No, can't have a tit. Can't possibly have anything on television. That's just uncalled for. So you watch a bunch of people just terror, violence, insanity as the show's going on, and then all of a sudden, right after the show's over, in the news at 6, the halftime of the Super Bowl, a boob popped out. I can't believe I had a child in the room. I saw a nipple. So that was the problem. Imagine women that get like something like, I can't believe you're breastfeeding in public. Like, oh, like I've seen women have a problem with another woman doing it. I'm like, oh, they're okay. So this child's getting nourishment and connection with the mother, and it's happening in a public space. Great, but the woman yelling at the other woman and being aggressive and rude and like towards that's not the problem. It's the tit out in public. All whilst they're gonna go home and watch all of the violence and terror on the news and watch the movies with all the somebody's gonna get their head chopped off and gunshots and psychological, like, really, this is a up is down, left is right. I mean, we've been in the um, Brave New World type thing. Well, maybe not. Maybe not. We haven't had that much Soma. That's kind of there's a good amount of Soma. So, the Brave New World. This is the reason it was kind of a futurist thing, where so Huxley's ideas are somewhat in place in society, not completely, but Orwell. That's been here for a long time. Maybe he wasn't even wrong on the date. 84, right? Maybe he wasn't wrong on the date. Maybe people just couldn't see it then. I mean, it's been quite a few years. Let's see. Let's see. Yeah, 36 years. I don't know. What does Huxley's take place? What year? 2000 what? It is amazing to me how much society hasn't changed. How much there's not much difference that we have from when we were like the amount of technological and social advancements that could and should take place in any advanced society in 30 years. Like, that's a lot. Things should get better for everyone every day. There should not be more trouble, more chaos, more disorder, more unknowing. But yeah, that's what the whole thing now is confusion and not knowing of anything. That's just what it is. You would think society would get better. I thought that's what we did. I thought we made it more advanced. I thought we were evolving. So they tell you in one sentence, they say we're evolving, evolution. In the next sentence, they say entropy. Everything's going to go to nothing. The sun's going to blow up or burn out, and everything's going to go back. It's going to work. The whole thing will just be. So one sentence, evolution. Next sentence, they say the exact opposite. So that's already right there, right off the bat. They've already set a course of confusion for people. And now, as I thought that society's so advanced, I look around, I'm like, okay, chair is still a chair. Yeah, there's some specialty things that you can get today that you couldn't get in 1970. But there's also some really cool inventions in the 20s, in the 30s, even before then, that were using really high levels of technology that we don't see anymore because it either didn't catch on, wasn't powerful, or was too cheap. Somebody realized like it was better to make people pay for something than start to give free energy, freedom to people, these kind of things. No, make them pay for it. Could you imagine somebody said because one day I had to work and go through when I grew up I had to, so you should have to too. Like, isn't the whole thing to evolve and make things better for people? And better doesn't equal, better doesn't mean more hard work and you got 8 hours and like, no, that's just something that was put into your head. It's like considering other societies, like you realize like they're happy, like there's a happiness quotient that goes into these things, and people think like, oh, they're lazy, they don't work. Like, no, they just enjoy what they're doing, and then when they're building things and they're creating things and they're what's up, Blackson? Yeah, so why is the most advanced things we have the only thing? Okay, we had TVs when 40 years ago there was color TVs. Now there's color TVs. What's changed? Size of them, sharper picture. That's about what's changed. What kind of new stuff? What kind of new stuff is there? Cars. Cars are still cars. Is the amount of automobile accidents, death, blah 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 going down? No, not really. Is the amount of miles per gallon going up? No, not really. Not really. Is the so what are, where are we? Where are we? I thought we were advancing society. No, doesn't seem to be so. Hmm. Yeah. Maybe there's a reason I got that reset button right there on my arm. The great reset, huh? Yeah, thank you, Black Sun. They have no, yes. If I was like, hey, go make a TV or go make a cell phone, couldn't do it. Even the people working in the factories probably couldn't do it from scratch because they're doing one part of the assembly line, right? They don't even know the totality of what goes into it or the process. They're just like assembly line, put this part on, and could you really make it? Would be very difficult. So, but even at that, we have higher technology. It's always been here. It's already been. Like, it's already the fact that we've had planes for as long as we have, and that they've always been using, as far as we know, air power, compressed air, turbine jet engines. As long as that's been going on, we've had, those haven't really changed. Only a few things have changed there. And those have been how many years there? 60, 70. When did jets come out? I mean, they've been out for a while, but hmm. Yeah, yeah. And what do people? Yeah, what do people really know? What do most people? What do people really know how to do? I always have to have this. I was kind of weaving this into the conversation earlier, and many of the videos I have is there. People are like, "Oh, this thing, kids are not going to school. This is no good. They need to get an education." And people are like, "Yeah, they need to go back to school." I'm like, it has nothing to do. Like, the school system has always been there, not for anyone's benefit. The only people that might be benefiting from that is okay. Look at I understand logistically. Like, some women had to like quit work because they had to come take care of their kids. Get it? Which, but then also, I mean, hey, how many parents really want to be, you know, around their kid all day? Nah, no, they don't. Stop lying to yourself. You don't be around your kids all day. Most parents, no way. They're happy to have the kid go to school. Ugh, they don't want to teach because you know what? Because they don't know anything. What can most people do? What is these schools? What is it anyone taught how to do? I would say about 80% of people, they'd have no clue how to even anything. Like, in a survival thing, like, you gotta know these things. I probably wouldn't be too good at it. I'd probably suck at it. Like, can I start a fire with, a this and this and like a stick and and a string, and yeah, I mean, I guess I could, but have I done it in a long time? No. Was I in Boy Scouts? Certainly, these kind of things. But yeah, most people, I don't think that even have the basic basic a TV. Who cares about that? Most people don't even know how to make clean water. They don't even know where. Why not shit up the hill? No, don't do that. Where do like little things like that. Like, I don't know. Yeah, but basic things for just living life. Eh, I don't think most people could. Could you figure out how to, like, I was thinking about the other day, like homesteading, people that want to be self-sufficient or something. I don't fully agree with the idea of being self-sufficient or off of the grid. I don't like off of the grid into a degree, because you're always going to there's an intertwining of nature and technology and tools. No matter how you look at it. Anytime you make a tool, you're involving yourself in higher and higher tools and technology. You don't get to make any tool. If you say I want to live with nature, then don't think about how to make a tool. As soon as you start making tools, you're taking yourself out of that. How'd you make that? How do you have solar panels? Did you make those? Did you make those from scratch? You can't make a solar panel, so don't tell me you did. Yeah, I mean, Black Sun, I hear you to a degree. Yeah, we're born knowing something. You still need you're born knowing, but there still is, like, you can't just go drop a baby into a forest, a newborn. They're not surviving. So you're not really born knowing that much. There's a certain knowing. How would the baby survive? It wouldn't. I get where you're going with that, but again, I'm not. Well, untouched tribe. Even those tribes were still granted knowledge by ancestors that we can't really figure out how did their society become so advanced, because even the languages, communication's a tool. Communication's a tool. Yeah, and there's certain ways of, like, plant life and psychoactive things and neurology and how of the creativity and artwork and making any tool. But again, I am not against. See, it's not trappings of a modern society. I'm not against the. I'm not anti-technology by any means. I'm not anti-tools. And people that want to be all hippie and go back to nature and homestead, they still want parts of the modern society. Most of them still have solar panels. Most of them still have electricity running. Most of them still. And even at that, like, I mean, let's get back to nature. Well, that's coming from the concept that you walked out of nature, like a fish jumped out of the water and then became a monkey. None of that happened. So we have to deal with that part too. And again, whoever the ancient gods were, and the knowledge of things and gene splicing and whatever the hell's going on. I don't know. How did they advance? Right? Very very long crazy story. Nonetheless, the there are many trappings of modern society, but again and again and again, I will say, tools are supposed to remove the mundane. If I didn't have this phone right here, which is using high technology, apparently, if I didn't have this phone right here, would I be able to communicate with all of you people? No. How would that be done? If I didn't have this phone, this TV, and all of these movies I've watched and documentaries and education, for me, I learned from it, right? So if I didn't have this, I'd be a stupid idiot. And what would I be doing? Uh, could I get could because you guys help me out, and sometimes I get some money through this, right? What's up, musicians? So, um, technology has, in many ways, people have come reliant. Smoke Signals, good. That's a good book. I've not read the whole thing, but Smoke Signals. Go check it out. I forget who wrote it. Mm, a buddy of mine had it years ago. It was right when I was into McKenna and some other things. Anyways, so these technologies that we have, these tools, we have got the trappings of them as people become over over reliant on them. They're not supposed to exist. They just needs to be used differently. What they're used for has become everything. Danny, everything to you is smoke something. Smoke. Danny, smoke some crack or something. uh, um, yeah. So the intertwining of the tools that you start to make as being completely unadulterated, on to rewild yourself. If you ever heard this concept of rewilding, well, because we were never monkeys to begin with, you know, maybe an aspect of us is something like that. Maybe we were hybridized. Who knows? But to rewild yourself, to be going like, I mean, I get it. It's still fun. It's funny. It's a funny to think about. But to just run back into the caves, that's insane. If making a fire is a tool and a technology. Don't use fire. You see, you want to go back to natural. What would naturally you do if what would a monkey do if it was cold? You would freeze to death because they don't know how to make a fire. You do. But then that becomes you using your mind to make a creative tool, and that tool turns the next tool, that turns the next technology, that turns the next thing that you use. Now, you'd be a fool to not make a fire pit and burn down a forest. That'd be foolish. But and so in the same way, that tool, that technology can be used moronically. Yeah, they don't lie about something, they lie about everything. Yeah. Hot springs are fake too, yo. I'll tell you that. There may be some naturally occurring hot springs somewhere. Maybe. But most of them, almost guaranteed. Why is the temperature always the same? Why is it always the perfect temperature to jump into? Doesn't seem like it would be. Underwater, there's some lava and it's Are we sure there's not a realm beneath us, and the heat from that realm, because that realm is staying a certain temperature, is boiling the water, or there isn't just a water heating thing on the equipment? You know, like on the property, and there's tubes and pipes and things pumping that water in there. I mean, yeah, that's it's kind of like volcanoes and lava and stuff. Like, I don't know. There's some questions I got about that too. Just because you've seen a volcano occur, even if you have, it doesn't necessarily mean it's a natural thing. Why would you think so? Why wouldn't they be everywhere? Are we sure there's not something going on beneath that, and that's I don't know. Oh no, it's just the natural geological process. But then we're also left with this. Yeah, but the everything you're giving us about science, about what's going on, and the spinning, and the sun, and the boom, and the that's all nonsense. So why wouldn't literally just about everything that we know be completely utter nonsense? And again, so I put this into, just finishing up the technology and tools. Just remember, there's an inter there's a marriage between things. I'm not against high technology by any means, because I use it and I enjoy it, and it serves me and it functions to assist other people. Without this, without having the internet and this connection here, a lot of people would have been even more unhealthy. I know for a fact why, because I've told people things to do to change their level of health, and what to get and how to do this, and I get letters on a regular basis going, thank you, like, you fucking changed my life. So could I have done that even if I had all the knowledge that I do? If I didn't have this high technology here to communicate, you'd never know that shit. So we can't just say in the technology it's all fucked. I want everybody to just go back to uh, you know running around in the woods uh, with the wild animals, and wearing pelts of coyotes. I mean, is there something to being in the woods, the forest, and having... Don't get me started on how you got a log cabin. I don't want to know about that. Why are you cutting the trees down? Ah, okay, well, now you got a clay hut. Okay, you gonna still put a fire in there? Still many questions here. How you getting there? Don't make any wheels. Don't have a bicycle. That's technology. Can't have that. Anything beyond what is locally just right there. Go and don't you better not change too much of the environment. Once you start changing the environment, then I have to suggest that that's not natural. Yeah. But the only thing, like, what might you learn, that maybe the birds make nests, but even at that, they're just picking up scraps and putting together. That's how you can make your house. Where where the bears hibernate in the winter? I don't know. So again, people all raw foods and going natural and everything's like, I don't need to shave and blah. Take it too far. Can you take it too far in the other direction? Absolutely. This is what we're seeing. It's the device of society. Musicians, been to a lot of them. Always same temperature, aren't they? Makes you wonder. Some things make you go, hmm. There was a couple of people that put videos out on it, and you cannot find those videos anymore. So, if that says anything. They were like documenting it and, giving a couple more ideas. I just suggest it. Maybe. I don't know. Do I know for certain? No. But there's more questions than there are good answers to it. I mean, a lot of these places you go, you'll find a next to because there's a hot spring. What is there always? A little shop there, maybe a hotel. Go see if there's any water pumps, any water heaters around. For what? Thought you had a hot spring right there. Why is it right there and not over there? Just right there, just that one little spot right there. That's the hot spring. Not there, not over there, not over there, right there. And they're just few and far around. That's just right there. Why wouldn't they be everywhere? Too many questions, but whatever. You think the reset is every 300 years, musicians? Well, the way things are looking to me, I think it's every 200. I mean, as far as we can tell, because look at when the book started changing was in what you'd think would be 1620, right? But it was an I, it was a J or an I, not a one. So it was six. So they reset something and threw 1,000 years in there, and then 18 something. Most people are in the 1820s and 1820s kind of mindset of like that's when the reset occurred, which are 200 years. I go 1620 to 1820 to 2020, somewhere around there. It seems like major, and the reset doesn't seem to be like a hit the thing, because it seems like the resetting of the systems doesn't happen all over at once. It happens the same way that if you were to, because I do think we live on some sort of motherboard system. I think we live on top of a computer type system. Granted, there are some what you'd call natural materials, but I think something was built as well that we're living on top of. So when they say you're living on the backs of giants, I mean, could they be quite literal about that? And also, I think most mountains are melted buildings, especially when you see these caves and things and all of these. Nah, that was something getting fried from a electrical motherboard system, melting things from, beneath, basically, just heating it up. It could have happened in the air too. Something could have happened outside. But we notice it doesn't seem to happen all at once in the same time. At least according to the narrative and Also, the reason why I don't think it could have happened all at once, then the entire population would have been wiped out. If it happened in different places, people could have moved or noticed it happened there and decided to go right. And then the transition of where populations live would make sense. So if the system is getting fried, it doesn't happen all at once. It'd be like, okay, what just happened in Texas? Texas got super cold, and then the whole city got kind of shut down. Whatever, the whole state. I don't know. The snow in Texas, and then electricity goes out. What's the connection there? Seems like that wouldn't snow, as far as I know, doesn't cause electricity to go out. Well, they're running extra this, extra that. Yeah, but if you built a system, you'd always have it built in a way that would be redundant, and you'd have extra storage power, and you'd go, okay, we live here, and the climate stays in this area, but it might get out. We have to. You build something so that it could function. If I was going to build a skateboard, right? And I was like, all right, well, how big is the person getting on it? 200 pounds? Okay. You don't just put 2 plies of wood because that will hold 200 pounds. You make it 7 ply because it will hold 700 pounds. It only makes sense. So if you built a system as big as what the hell we're living on, you'd have a supply system for a city of 1,000 people. You would build it to generate power for 1,000,000 people. If there's 100,000, you'd build it for 1,000,000 people, because the city would grow anyways. And you'd also know that if you built something to withstand the heat up to 100 degrees and to 0, you'd say, well, I'm not just going to build it so it would break at 0. You go beyond that and you build it so 50 below 0. And so a giant power grid like that, why would it wouldn't go out unless it was on purpose. So I think that happens. Where like a city will do that and kind of adjust something, and then another place will. So just like just think about playing on a computer or anything else. You kind of take something apart and rebuild it. You can't do it all at once. Part of your car. You ever worked on a car? You ever do mods to your car, mods to your computer, mods to anything? Even your kitchen, whatever. You modify part of it at once. Okay, I got enough money, I got enough power, so I'm put new tires on this week. Get some new rims. Okay, this week I want to put a new turbo boost in here. Okay, let's pull this part, put this one in. So you shut down part of the system, put the next thing in. Yeah. The starting to control the reset is establishing a new society yeah. Well, I think that's why you see places like, how they have those vacant ghost cities in China. No, I think they're telling you that they built those cities on purpose, and what I think those cities are is they've already firewalled those cities off, and it's not connected to the main control grid. So they've built a new system that's sitting there just waiting. I don't think that's sitting there as if they couldn't figure out what to do with it. They're so stupid, they don't know what they're doing. They just built a whole city and no one moved in. It's a ghost town. I don't think that's what happened. I think they built that with purpose for a future city. That they're not just going to build the city and then move everybody in, like because then they would have to turn the grid on, and if they know that the reset occurs and whatever that is, whether something's going on beneath, or it's a motherboard, or there's some installation of a new system, right? We got to turn this one off, so build this here, and then we'll take this system apart and then we'll upgrade things. That's what you do. You get rid of this one, take this one out, and set. That's what they're doing. I mean, does it upgrade everyone's position in the world? Hopefully. Does it help the people just in control? No. It would have to serve and help everyone else too, or else no one would. I mean, the only people that are. I did this talk yesterday, and just touching on it. The only people that really believe in capitalism are people that are making the most money, and people that live under the guise and propaganda of capitalism. Now, with that being said, do I believe in the whole socialist construct? No. But most people, if they were, if they had the universal basic income and blah blah blah, their life would change for people. There'd be That's not the solution to hyperinflation, which is occurring now, and this is the to a degree the death of an aspect of capitalism. But listen to my other talks I've done on corporatocracy, capitalism, socialism, Ubuntu, and there's just more to it than just simply saying capitalism is the best, and if you believe in socialism, you suck. It's not that. That's the narrative they're giving you, but then they're also trying to implement, even though you live in a society with a lot of socialistic, you have social programs. It's mad funny. Your home is in the heart. Yeah, yeah. Tell that to somebody that's homeless. See how that's going. It's not working too well, is it? Oh, nice musicians. uh, you talking about Greta Thundercat? That one. What's up, Christopher Lee? Hey, what you got a You got a Shelby? Oh shit! I didn't know you was balling out like that. Shit, share some of that. Share some of that cash. You know where to send it. It's one PayPal, whatever. A Shelby. What year? You say word. I'm not saying upgrading socialism. You gotta. I told you there's a long talk. I'm not saying it's an upgrade. I'm saying, see, if you got a Shelby and a homestead and all that, then you would not like. See, I'm not saying it's an upgrade. I'm just saying that it would balance things to a degree, and it would cause a lot of the major problems that we have in society, with theft and major amounts of I don't know, crime and things like this. It would alter those. So I'm not into either one of these systems. I mean, they exist both simultaneously, but it's always underneath a corporatocracy. But there is an advanced way to look at it, and that is through a different lens. And I just don't want to do that whole talk again because I already did that yesterday and so many other times. Yeah, see, you believe in a free market because you believe in and I would just say off the top. I mean, this is a long talk, but I don't want to do the whole thing. But free market capitalism doesn't exist because you don't really understand what a free market is unless you get out of inflation, income tax, and interest in a fiat currency under a corporatocracy. So you have to start with getting rid of the fiat currency, getting rid of corporatocracy, and then some form of capitalism works well. But we don't have a cap. We don't live. It's like that was like saying I like living in a democracy. We don't live in a democracy. We live in a corporatocracy, and even that's underneath the thumb of we don't live in a free market that has school systems that educate children in indoctrination centers. You can't, because their mind is already altered into believing that they need certain things. That we have a free market that you just market to anything, so everybody should be able to just put signs up anywhere they want, like, hey, come buy my shitty ass product. See, there'd be a higher value to things. Yeah. Something I'm passionate about the idea, but it's just such a long talk. I don't want to get into the whole thing again. Yeah, you believe in a free market. Remember that. That's the key. You believe in a free market. It doesn't exist. Free market, free market economy. It's not happening. Not in the current. Okay, I mean, I agree with you, musicians. A decentralized capitalism with a healthy dose of anarchy. Yeah, I mean, the anarchist. If you don't understand what anarchy is to begin with, anyways, truthfully, nature is anarchistic. Um, uh, Decentralized capitalism. So you like the idea of okay? Let me see. You said healthy dose. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm pretty much in the same boat. I just there's way too much that we discount about the totality of our interrelationships with other species and other humans that we deny that causes harm to us as a whole. We deal with more problems because there are people that are most anything that you can think of is a social problem. You know, there aren't too many evil criminal people on this realm. Everything is you have to look at it under a psychological guise of who's going. What do some people worry about? They worry about getting robbed because they've gotten robbed before. You ever got stuck up at gunpoint? Oh, it's the worst. Whew, I walk down the street and that's fear and terror and but why would that happen? Because somebody needed money to pay for maybe food for the kids. This is real. Maybe somebody needed drugs. Well, now if you these things they start to change these. You start to change why are these people addicted to that drug? What you start to ask those furthering questions, you'll start to understand that everything is a social issue. Everything is a social issue to say that capitalism solves any problems. Capitalism solves no problems. Capitalism is the main point of it is to capitalize and to be greedy. It's the capitalism always leads to greediness. So so is it the best system? No, it's not even close. Is socialism better? No. They have equal their same faults because they're not. It's hard to maintain any system when you have already leveraging through lies in the media that have been propagated through a fiat money currency that is then fake banks and then owing people using usury, which is, you know, inflation is now almost in hyperinflation. Taxes being always theft. Uh, obviously less government is better. Almost nil. Anarchy would exist in its healthy way. Anarchy is very healthy. Anarchy isn't people wearing black ski masks, painting crazy shit on buildings, going, fuck the system. Because if anarchy was the system, it wouldn't be chaos. Anarchy doesn't mean chaos. It's very that's what people have of it because you're told under the propagated state that anything believing in capitalism it means you believe that you live in a capitalist society, that you've eaten the propaganda. Living in a socialist society, you believe that capitalism is evil because they tell you that capitalism is evil. But all of the societies will tell you that anarchy is evil. What do you want to go back to being in chaos and living like a monkey? You want to go back and hang out with the lions in the wild? We need laws and order and anarchy just means that anarchy is natural law, that natural things would take place. Society, people would help each other given the opportunity, but most people don't have enough to do that because of greedy people that have leveraged things through using corporatocracy, leveraging systems, lies, schooling systems, blah blah blah. And that's my story. You got you said 2014. What color? Yeah, credit debit is a big problem too. Yeah. Yeah, I hear you, man. I guess yeah. I mean, I hear you. Like, yeah, it is a game. Play it. Uh, but there's a point in playing the game that you become so far. I don't know. Maybe I've seen the I've seen the underpinnings of it, to play it to keep playing it like just play it like a game, that you become selfish and greedy and fuck everybody else and become a narcissist. You don't care about anything else. I've seen people like once you start to get something, it's like that's mine, mine, mine. Children and nature isn't born that way. Nature and children are sharing, and it's abundant, and it's, you know, it's more like Ubuntu. It's like gift giving culture. It's about happiness, not about greed. But greed will always be a result. So if you play the game too hard, you start to lose your own sense. I think if you play the game too hard, you might lose your sense of like humanness and humanity. I'm not saying you have. I doubt that, but I don't. I like nice things too. I'm very much into the aesthetics of the world, and having comfortable things and smells good, and I like feng shui. I like things. I don't like too many things. I'm not a minimalist. I have been a minimalist at times, but do I need extra shit? No. I have most everything I have has a purpose. Do I use it all the time? No. Could I use better? Could I use the space better? Could I? Yeah, certainly. But anyways, let's move on here. Yeah. Well, anarchy musicians, I don't think means non-governance, because governance just means to govern the mind. So government or governing your mind is a good idea. Anarchy, um, there is a governing way a tree grows. Even if it grows how you don't want to, it's gonna do what it's doing because it's governed by a natural process. So it's natural law. So it's not non-governance. Uh, See, that's why I think people are mistaken, because once you say non-governance, people then get into saying that means chaos. And no, if I were just to look around right now, I'd be like, there is nothing but chaos in the world. It's very orderly put together, but it's a chaotic place. Like interacting with people is chaotic. It's chaotic to me. Uh, oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Musicians, yeah. Yeah, I hear you. You don't abide by others claiming rights over your person and possessions. Oh, I don't either. This is why I said I'm not in. This is why I said it's a longer talk, and I'm not into the socialist mindset. No, I don't think it's communal. I didn't say communism, communal, or anything. There's plenty of personal space and personal items that good. And that's, of course, it's your person. Of course, it's your space. 100%. But at what point is it like that's my stuff? That's my stuff. And you start leveraging things to all of a sudden like, well, this is the land. This is all of my land and my kingdom. Like I'm not saying you do that. I'm just saying, yes, of course, 100%. Here's your person. Here's your space. That's yours. Fuck yeah. But then most of the space of the world should be, hey, free reign out here. Here's a park. Anybody can go. Go fuck around. Have fun. Play. Yeah. So there is even in any society so the social construct, the social energy, the communal and social energy. That's always the underpinnings. It's relationships to things. Nobody's living on an isolated island. Would you live on an island, a big island with a huge house, but you lived by yourself? That's You have the biggest everything you wanted, but it's like how Cartman was always like he wanted to go to the theme park, but he wanted to go there by himself, and he didn't care because of what a completely serving narcissist he was, because that's the whole Cartman, South Park. And it's like to me that would never make any sense. I can't. It's I enjoy what I enjoy by myself. I enjoy my own personal space and my items and things, but I also know that most of the space should be like, if I got a house and personal property and shit, like that shit is mine's. That shit is mine's. Well, yeah, musicians. I would go back to something prior to 1932 dictionary before they changed the meanings of words. It's mine. You wish you was by yourself. Okay, well, you live in an island. Okay, well, you know what I mean, though. I mean, if you lived on an island by yourself, no phone, no technology, beautiful house, anything you want, but it's yours. No girlfriend, no boyfriend, no interaction. Just that's yours. It would get eventually you would go stir crazy and like, okay, where's these other people? I'd like to interact with humans. You're not seeing somebody for not seeing humans for a long time. This is what they've done to most people right now with the isolation, blah blah blah, social distancing, communicating and being, because we are social creatures at first and foremost. You know, even Maslow's theories of needs, I think might not be exactly correct. You know, what do you need first? Food, shelter, clothing, right? I don't know. There. Where does he put the friends, family, society in there? Because we rely on each other no matter what. That's what I'm talking about. That relationship. Yeah. If we all like we don't live in an isolated experience. Like back to what we were talking about earlier. Who can make their own TV? Who can make their own phone? Could you make a light bulb? Do you even know how to do that? Could I figure it out because I know how electricity works? Yeah, but then could I make, like, unto my own devices, what could I accomplish? Just about shit. There's not really anybody that could, just left to your own devices, could you go and build something? Yeah, I mean, could I build a house? Yeah, okay, here's how you'd have to do it. You go, okay, do I know how would I do it? Would I make a lean-to? Would I cut down the wood? But I got no tools. I gotta have to do it myself, right? There's not too many things that many people could accomplish just by themselves. That obviously the 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 working together thing. If we rely on each other to, I mean, shit. Do I really want to sew a pillow together? Like, do I have the all the things so I can print? I mean, I don't. How many pillows do I need, right? So to make all the tools to make this pillow that only cost me $10, it would cost me. It would cost me way too much time and effort to do something like this. Make this couch that I'm sitting on. You know what we'd be sitting on? We'd be sitting on a bump. We'd be sitting on a bump on a log. Nice, man. Homesteading is awesome. Yep. Chickens and goats. You going full farmer? Nice. You still gonna maintain your Shelby? Gotta keep that girl. Dude, if you're gonna be in a farm, you have to get an alpaca. You have to get an alpaca. Do it. And I think you need to get more than one. I mean, obviously if you're gonna have goats, that's awesome. But alpacas are that's what's up. Yeah, the older the better, man. Get one. Why are the older ones better? Because they're easier to work on, and they built them better. It's easier to find parts, and if parts cannot be found, they're interchangeable. They're not so specific, you know. Probably something a '60s and '70s, '70s truck. Probably the best idea, because it'll be already a truck that has been probably probably rebuilt in a lot of ways, anyways. Get that many years, you put new things. Whoever owns one of those trucks, they've already put the new parts in and stuff. And like, put a new diamond belt in there, and I gotta. What's up, Si? Yeah, yeah. Um, Yeah, basically that's gonna be. Yeah, but again, even if it's without a computer, you just go back. You just got to go back. I would say don't go as early as getting a 30s, 40s, or 50s because the 50s is gonna be too heavy and clunky. Probably like a 70s, early 70s truck is probably best. Cheap as anything. Parts are cheap. Easy to like, if you had to re-gear something out, like you know, it's you could find something that you could jammy wackle together. What are you doing, Si? How you living? So not a Model T. I mean, as much as a Model T would be fun, I don't know how that's gonna get you around in a farm. Fuck it, might as well just get a Tesla, man. How you been living, Si? How you feeling, man? Where you at? Where's you at? Yeah, I'd probably get one of those. Well, it depends on too. Like if you homesteading, I mean, is it already got cabins and shit? Because if not, then obviously getting some sort of like RV-ish campery kind of thing would be good. But if it's just for like being around on a already set up, you know, homestead with cabins and shit. Yeah, I used to live in a tree house, man. It was a community of tree houses. It was awesome. Where are you now? Are you still in Pencil fuck Turkey Town? Oh, nice, big old farmhouse. Wicked. Kind of place with like a barn and stuff. Yeah, one time years ago when I was building houses, I almost bought a farmhouse. But like at the time, I was still too much of a city dweller. I mean, I still liked being close to things, and the farmhouse was so far, kind of outside of like it was way too much land, way too far away. It was cheap. It's a big ass house though, and my only thought was I could buy this house. The house. I mean, you don't understand. Like at the time, maybe it was like $90,000, but the house was like maybe 4,000 square feet, which is insane, huge. Like 4,000 square feet, it's huge, way too much space. And my only thought was like, all right, these got like 10-foot ceilings, like 4,000 square feet, and I was just doing the math in my head. I was like, yeah, to actually rehab this house is going to cost me like it's gonna it would it ever be worth could I ever resell this house for what I'm gonna put into it? And probably not. I would have had to put like 130,000 easy. So it would end up costing me like 230,000 to get this house. Would it ever been worth that? Perhaps, but had a big ass barn too. Yeah, I was kind of excited about it, but I was like, this is just too much work, too far away. I mean, it was nice because it was like near it's like in farmlands and shit. So there was like everybody around there was like, what up, Farmer Brown over here got the cow milk and Betty she gonna make some apple cobbler. But like I was too young for all that lifestyle. Like 23. Maybe a little younger than that, 22, 23. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. It's like 100 years old, Stone Foundation. Yeah, same kind of place. Uh, it was in Illinois. I mean, it wasn't at the time. It was built for like short-term rentals. I don't know what the guy turned it into because they were nice. They were no joke tree houses. They weren't like just in a tree house. It wasn't like I'm gonna put some like a stable foundation, and there's there's a refrigerator, and it's got full kitchen. It's like a cabin, but it's a tree house. There was one cabin, and then two cabins, and then four tree houses. And so it was kind of off the beaten path, and cool place. And I don't know what you turn it into. I don't know if you turn it into a community of living space for people, because I don't like where it was. I don't know how that would have turned out, like recouping the money that he put into building these cabins and these tree houses. It's done too off the beaten path. I mean, you could see if it was, because he was doing like nightly or weekly rental, and I was like, dude, what if I stay here for a few months? What kind of discount you hook that up? You know. Musicians, yeah. Yeah, man. Years ago, when that was what I did, I rehabbed houses. I never bought and flipped one because I never had I didn't have the credit for it, and everything was kind of. I was making enough. I was making enough money, but I never had enough like down payment money for it. You know what I'm saying? I never had a bank account with that much money in it. And finally when me and my girl, because she used to build houses with me. Um, as soon as we had enough kind of money to do that, we were kind of like on the outs of a relationship though. So kind of glad I never did, because purchasing a house. I mean, we were gonna purchase it, rehab it, live in it for a little bit, and then sell it and go from there. Would have been good. It was like right in the prime of the market when it was right house flipping time. You know what I mean? Back in the early 2000s. Early 2000s, yeah. Oh right, I forgot. Musicians, I forgot about that. You live out there. We're talking about. You used to be. Yeah, man, that's cool. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know West Coast Reno like that shit. I should have either made rich friends or moved somewhere that. I just got tired. I got tired of building houses, man. It just wore me out after a while, because I was doing like the design work, plus the paperwork, plus the dealing with plus the building, and I was making really good money, but then sometimes just like dealing with the people just became too much, man. Oh, you live in Canada now? Okay, yeah, yeah, yeah. But weren't you saying when didn't you say you used to? Didn't you say, was it you that said you used to deal cards when you work in a casino? Is that you? Yeah. I mean, I did enjoy renovating houses. It was a lot of fun at times, but man, dealing with the customer it was never a pleasure, because they could never understand. You were in a metal band. Yeah, I could never. I could I work it. I could never understand, like I'd be doing a job, and then somebody like, hey, you know what? The plumbing. Can we move the sink over here? And I'd be like, oh, okay, well that's gonna take, that'd be an extra like whatever, like $400. Like why? I just wanted to move it over here. I was like, and you have to go through explaining this, and they can't quite understand. Like you're trying to explain to them, like you realize now I got to plumb this out this way instead of this way, and we're gonna redo this, and I got to, they couldn't. They're like, I just want it over there instead of over there. Shouldn't that be just simple and just put it over there? Like, oh, do you know how many more hours of work that is? People always change their minds in the middle of it. They can't never see it. Well, well, well. Well, what to do today? What time is it? 8:30. So what you laughing about? Oh damn. Oh yeah, okay. Oh yeah, renovating for yourself. Oh yeah, certainly. When I've done renovations on my own places, but it's kind of hard. You ever heard the story about the shoe cobbler and his son never have nice shoes because you're doing that all day. If you're doing that all day, like you're not going to do that for fun. You're not going to do that for yourself. So it's like if I'm doing that, like doing something to my own place, it was always kind of like I only did that after I stopped. After I stopped rehabbing houses, that's when I started doing renovating my own place. Oh yeah, oh that was the worst, man. It really put a sour taste in my mouth towards it. Fucking custom. These custies out here, the crusty custies. Mm. Yeah, yeah. All right, you fuckers. I'm gonna get out of here. I gotta go wash my nuts and go do some public stuff things. Yeah, there you go. Teachers have dumb kids. Mechanics got run down cars. Damn right, man. Yeah, yeah. Okay, everybody. Yeah, I'm gonna get off here. This has been fun. If anybody missed the beginning of the show, got into the whatever the title was, we got into that for certain. Good to see everybody. I may or may not be back on here this evening. Maybe a little later today. Try to go get some outside time and go fuck a duck. You know what I mean? Good to see everybody. Be weird, and I'll talk to y'all soon. Later, skaters.